They said majority draw. They cheated Roach. Roach got robbed. A majority draw. They cheated Roach. They cheated Roach. Look at Jake. Everybody know they cheated him. Everybody know they cheated Roach. Everybody know they cheated Roach. Roach got robbed, and everybody knows it. And it was a 10-8 while they robbed him. They robbed Roach. Roach beat Tank. They robbed him. Rematch right away. They robbed him. And it was a knockdown 10-8.
Now, which one Lamont won?
Who you got won?
Lamont.
You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds?
I don't know.
You still want the Tank Davis fight?
You said what?
You still want the Tank Davis fight? What went wrong? What went wrong? Take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I mean, we're going to see. I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this, so.
Shakur, what went wrong for Gervonta in this fight? Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in, they really...
I think he got overconfident. I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was going to go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence been up. I've been knew I was the best.
It was a close fight.
I'm not surprised the way Lamont fought. I knew Lamont was going to come to fight. It was the opportunity of a lifetime. He did a good job. He fought a great fight.
What went wrong with Tank Davis? I mean, I was
what was wrong with him?
Out.
Every night in boxing is not your best, you feel me? But at least you got the draw.
Would you like to see a rematch of this or jump into a fight with Shakur Stevenson?
They don't, whatever they want to do.
You think it was a draw?
I don't know. It was a good fight.
I mean, definitely an off night for Tank, but Lamont Roach is the guy, man. He showed up, and Tank gave him a tremendous amount of respect in the fight, and we saw why. I mean, he's a great counterpuncher, he's very high boxing IQ. He always says, I hit harder than people think, I hit harder than my record says. He stunned Tank several times. You know, Tank looked like the guy with the heavier hands, but Lamont had the better chin. So it's all relative. You know, so it doesn't, if Tank hits real hard, but the guy can take it, doesn't really matter. And I thought Roach was brilliant tonight. He had a good game plan, but those early rounds are what haunts him. He's gonna lay up at night that he wasn't a little more aggressive early on, because early on there wasn't much going on. There was time for him to take places for him to steal those rounds. And obviously he didn't. I want to see what the official scorecard breakdown was and how they had everybody in which direction and which rounds. But I mean, super close fight. I could have edged it for Tank. Lamont obviously had great rounds. He was able to wobble Tank a few times. He got wobbled himself one time with a right hook, but I don't know, man.
Rate the
Roach
performance.
won the story.
Roach won the story.
Roach won the story. He didn't get the win, but he won the story.
You know, in the early rounds, it looked as though Tank was doing what he does and setting up a possible knockout or a probable knockout, which was what most people expected to see. And then over the course of the next several rounds, you saw that maybe the opponent, Lamont Roach, actually got stronger, moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble. That, I think, was unusual and disconcerting for Tank. He got a little desperate in the late rounds and began throwing much more than is normally the case. It created action, it created excitement, there was tension in the audience. It was a memorable fight, and I want to see a rematch as rapidly as a rematch can be made.
Lamont Roach beat Tank. I'm not even, we got to take it one step at a time. Lamont, no matter what, Lamont Roach was robbed of a knockdown. Glad I bought the fight. Damn near had the bubble guts. Yep. With that unofficial knockdown, Tank should have lost. I'm saying they robbed him of the knockdown. They robbed him of the knockdown. And Steve Willis is the best ref in the business. Tank took a knee, got up, and went to the corner and got his face wiped by a towel. Now, maybe Roach is just that good. Oh, I tell you this, he beat Tank. Whatever it is, he beat Tank. Tarver couldn't beat everybody, but he beat Roy. He beat Roy, bruh. He couldn't beat Bernard Hopkins. He struggled. He lost to Glenn Johnson. Yeah, but he beat Roy. That's because Tarver knew Roy. Roach knows Tank.
I mean, you gotta understand, can't underestimate the underdog, bro. He's hungry, you know what I mean? They wasn't giving him no credit. They were making us see it was a slouch. You could run over. You can't do that in boxing. Anything can happen. You can have a great night, believe that. You gotta believe in your soul, and I think the kid was in there with his soul tonight. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong. And like, to me, it could have went either way.
Either way.
Could have went either way.
So you okay with a draw?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, a draw is not a loss or a win. For the fighters, it's like...
No. I know you're not okay with the draw, pal. Let me make sure I clear that up. You're okay with the draw in this fight?
I think they did right. They could have went either way. They chose a draw, one judge. So I think it's cool. I mean, they want to run it back, they can, but I won't do it. I just keep moving.
So, I mean, that's an interesting statement, but let me ask you this. Do you think in round 9 that was a knockdown, what happened with Tank?
Well, it wasn't a knockdown. He took a knee.
You should have counted technically.
No, you're right, but the ref didn't do it because he said his mouthpiece was in his mouth. Was it the mouthpiece?
Honestly, I don't know. I can't wait to ask them what it was.
I think it was the mouthpiece. I'm thinking. He was saying his mouthpiece.
I think it was his eye. That's what I saw on the camera, but I didn't hear. I wasn't listening to the fight. I was watching live.
The mouthpiece, but the thing is, he took a knee as a count, as basically a legal knockdown.
And if they do?
Yeah, but the ref said no, but the judge could still count it as a knockdown.
Oh.
You're the judge. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Just because the ref said it wasn't a knockdown, you could still, as a judge, could decide what it was to you. You're a judge. You do what the fuck. Nobody tell you what to do. You do what you want to do.
Should they have counted it as a knockdown?
He took a knee because something was wrong. That he thought it was wrong that he could do that. He probably thought he was still in the amateurs. You know, in the amateur, take a knee.
Yeah.
You know, it's things that you do sometimes. It goes flashback when you was younger and you think you could still get away with it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a good fight. Well, I think it was a great fight, believe it or not, because Roach made it a great fight.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure.
It was a good fight.
What'd you think about the performance? You thought it was a fair decision?
Yeah, definitely, man. I thought they both put it out there. Roach definitely showed up and did his thing. But Gervonta Davis is the champ, and it takes a lot to be able to beat the champ. But Roach definitely had something that we all wasn't expecting. Might have been the power, his combinations as well. He definitely came to fight, man. He got great skills, and it was a great fight overall.
There was a moment where it seemed like he was kind of like bullying the bully. You think that was kind of a part of the tactic?
Yeah, I was surprised too because Roach is a little bigger than I thought. I didn't think he was going to be able to do what he did. But he ended up doing it, man. Congratulations to both fighters for making it happen and stepping up to the plate. And, man, they went toe-to-toe at times, so it was great. It was great.
You think if they do a rematch, it'll be kind of a similar fight, or you think one will be able to
I think it'll be a little different. Similar but a little different. I think there'll be a little bit more aggression this time, the next time around. I think there's like more spots they could have picked early on, but they didn't. Like I said, Roach might have power that he was catching them clean. Gervonta looked like them shits was whatever, but he definitely came back to like showcase his skills and hot as well as digging some body shots and stuff like that. But man, it was a good fight.
Before the fight, Teddy Atlas believes Lamont Roach tried his best, but Gervonta Davis was simply too skilled and powerful for him. Davis's ability to see openings, time his punches perfectly, and control the fight made the difference. While Roach had some good moments, he lacked the extra level of skill or power needed to truly challenge Tank.
I like Tank Davis. What can I tell you? Lamont Roach, I've interviewed him in the past. I got to know him a little bit. He's a great kid. I like the way he's only got one loss. I like the way that he boxes. He's versatile. He could do a lot of things. He could go get you. He's got the attitude of a fighter. He's not a huge puncher. Obviously, Tank Davis is the puncher in this, but Roach can go get you, but he can box.
By carefully analyzing this fight, Atlas believes Roach has solid fundamentals and a high boxing IQ, meaning he understands strategy and technique well. Given how dangerous Tank Davis is, he suggests Roach should rely on movement, angles, and disciplined counterpunching, rather than standing in the pocket and trading punches.
I think he should stay away from trying to go on the inside, which again, he's got the attitude of a real fighter, which you love. And I wouldn't be shocked if Roach said, oh no, I'm going to go inside sometimes. I don't know that would be the best choice. He knows how to do it if he wants to. At the end of the day, all of what I said, bud, it's one thing that really makes today. It's not because Tank Davis is just undefeated. It's not because Tank Davis is just a great puncher. He's just a full package.
Gervonta Davis is one of the most significant opponents in Lamont Roach's career. Roach expressed his unshakable self-belief, built from his past experiences, determination, and refusal to accept anything less than victory.
But it just feels like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
That's just how I'm wired, bro. I ain't never backed down from nothing. I damn sure ain't never wanted to come second to anything. So why would it change here?
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. have clashed before in the amateurs, with both fighters having their own version of how things went down. No more debates, no more excuses. It's settled in the ring. Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. finally faced off as professionals, leaving their amateur history behind.
Very well known that you guys, fought in the amateurs, you've had sparring sessions. Can you use any of those past experiences with Tank going forward into this fight March 1st?
He can't. He lost.
Don't answer my question, bro. What I'm about to say, logically, even though I think I won both of them fights, not really. It was so long ago. We was like 16.
In the tournament twice. I beat them in the state, and then they did something
beat me
like...
in the regionals. They cheated, and Baltimore took a point from me, fool. Come on.
Sean Porter sounded the alarm. Roach knows Tank, and that's a dangerous thing for Tank. Now that the fight is over, Roach uses that knowledge to his advantage. Porter believes Lamont Roach's experience with Gervonta Davis, from their amateur battles to sparring sessions, gave him unique insight into Tank's style.
Overall, what are your thoughts of the fight?
I tell you what. Yeah. The fact that Lamont Roach is as familiar with Tank Davis as he is, it goes beyond them fighting in the amateurs. They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank up close and personal, whether he's in the ring with them or not. That matters. When you know a guy's rhythm, when you know their speed, when you know what they're thinking, that changes everything,
American professional boxer Sean Porter shared his thoughts on the fight, emphasizing that once Gervonta Davis lands a clean shot, it could be over instantly. He believes that while Lamont Roach might put up a competitive fight, everything will change once he gets hit by Tank's power.
It don't matter. When he get hit, he going to sleep. Just wait for it. This might be a fight until he gets hit. And again, he's tasted that before. So if he gets hit and he doesn't go away, we got a fight on our hands, I think it's a good fight. I think that there's better fights for Tank Davis, but this is a good fight for him.
Calvin Ford reflects on Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach's long-standing rivalry from their Silver Gloves days, adding extra intensity to their fight. Despite criticism, he fully supports the matchup, calling it a huge opportunity for both fighters and the boxing community. Ford praises Roach for stepping up and promises fans an electrifying showdown.
They've been knowing each other from the amateurs, Silver Gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, Roach and him, back and forth battles and whatnot. It's going to be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Lamont and Tank have history. What can you tell us about their history and how that's going to play into the fight come fight night?
They got amateur history. They fought maybe 2 or 3 times. Tank being the winner. They sparred a few times. Tank got the best of the sparring. They just bigger and stronger now, older.
Kenny Ellis laid it all out, the history, the battles, and the deep-rooted rivalry between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. From their intense sparring sessions to their heated amateur showdowns, these two warriors had faced off before. But this time, there were no head guards, no point system, just pure high-stakes boxing under the bright lights.
Shit, man. Tank, last 4 or 5 opponents all had film about how they beat him up in sparring. If that's the case, that shit happens. But fight night, we all know the outcome.
Big Tim isn't just confident, he's convinced. He believes Lamont Roach is more than ready for this moment and will shock the world on the match date. According to Tim, Roach isn't just making a name for himself in the ring, but also as a person, a true champion in every sense. He promises that Roach's performance won't just meet expectations, it'll shatter them.
Well, one thing I can say, he's ready, and he will shock the world. I think a lot of people are now starting to realize and know who he is, not just as a person, but as a fighter. And he's a hell of a fighter. He's a great world champion. And he's going to put it on display March 1st. He's going to shock the world. He's going to shock the world.
Big Tim is fully confident in Lamont Roach's abilities, believing that while Gervonta Davis will present a tough challenge, Roach has what it takes to come out on top. He sees Roach as a well-prepared and determined fighter who is ready to rise to the occasion. According to Tim, Roach's skill, mindset, and preparation will ultimately lead to victory, leaving Davis on the losing end when the final bell rings.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's so focused and ready. He's to the point where I don't care who you put in there with him. Excuse my French. You're going to take an ass whooping, so he's ready. He's ready.
Was there a moment in one of the sparring sessions where you kind of wanted to look at the other side and be like, yo, just get this fighter out, get him out?
No, that's what you signed up for, so it depends, you know. Tank don't want to submit, lay down, we're going to put him down. But overall, he's going to get ass whooped.
Gervonta Davis delivered exactly what he promised: destruction. Despite all the talk about Roach's sneaky skill set and potential strategic edges, Tank imposed his will, proving once again why his power is leagues above. From the opening bell, Davis dictated the pace, landing punishing shots that wore Roach down. While Lamont Roach's team keeps hyping up his size, strength, and strategy, not everyone is convinced he's a real threat to Gervonta Davis. Coach Bullitt didn't hold back. He made it loud and clear exactly where he stands on this fight.
He doesn't have a chance. Tank is a very experienced, high IQ. The only person that could have beat Tank was Rolly. I keep telling people that. Nobody's going to beat him because they don't bring nothing to the table to make him scared, to puzzle him, to make him, panic or open his eyes like a deer in headlights.
According to Coach Bullitt, this fight isn't just about skill, it's about applying real pressure. And in his eyes, Roach doesn't bring the kind of danger that forces Tank to tap into another gear. But that's exactly where the risk comes in. When fighters don't feel truly tested, they can sometimes get complacent. Bullitt recognizes that possibility, but even then, he leaves no doubt. Tank is still the one in complete control of this fight.
So, this fight with Roach, it's Tank selling the fight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody saying, hey, but it's boxing. I'm gonna give you 1,000. If Tank could get himself up to really fight this kid properly, he could really hurt him bad. But sometimes a good fighter, it's hard for him to get up for certain fights. And that's what I see in boxing a lot of time for many years. So I'm glad Roach is talking some mess to him, so maybe he'll put a little fire in him so we can see a good fight.
After the fight, promoter Eddie Hearn weighed in on the matchup, saying that while it was a decent fight, Roach was simply too small for Tank. He pointed out that the bout wasn't received well because Roach lacked name recognition. Hearn said, "If you know your boxing, you know it's a good fight, but he is a super featherweight. He's much smaller than Tank. I don't think it's a bad fight, but it's gone down terribly because no one knows who Lamont Roach is. But what were the options for Tank, really?" In the debate over whether Lamont Roach has a real shot against Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Gary Russell initially played it safe, saying that anyone who steps in the ring has a chance. But when pushed for a real answer, he didn't hold back. If both fighters are at 100%, Roach doesn't stand much of a chance. Still, Russell didn't completely shut the door on an upset, reminding everyone that boxing is unpredictable.
Does Lamont Roach have a chance to win this fight?
I think anybody that steps in the ring has a chance at winning the fight. I'm not going to say that he doesn't have a chance at
No, you just told me a second ago. Stop it. Ain't no perception. Give it to me straight, Gary. Can Lamont win this fight?
I'm going to give it to you straight.
All right.
I think we can get there. Tank can get injured or get hurt the day before, and something could occur. And if Lamont shows up, he can possibly win the fight.
Gary Russell didn't mince words when assessing Lamont Roach's chances against Gervonta "Tank" Davis. While he acknowledged that the fight might be competitive early on, he made it clear that as the rounds go on, Tank's power and skill will take over. Gary Russell further added, "No, I don't think Lamont's going to win the fight. I think it'll be interesting in the beginning half of the fight, and during the later half of the fight, Tank's going to start." Gary Russell doesn't see Lamont Roach pulling off an upset against Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He expects the fight fight to be competitive early on, but as the rounds go by, Tank's power and skill will take over, turning the later rounds into a one-sided display of dominance. Gervonta "Tank" Davis said that Lamont Roach is a great fighter. He's likely showing respect for Roach's skills, work ethic, and heart in the ring. Lamont Roach has the skills to make things tricky for Tank Davis, especially early on. His reach, solid fundamentals, and disciplined boxing IQ could help him frustrate Tank, forcing him to be more patient. As the dust settles, it proves that this wasn't just a fight, it was a battle for dominance. Did Tank once again prove why he's one of the most feared fighters in the game, or did Roach shock the world with his relentless speed and power? One thing's for sure, this fight will be talked about for a long time. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more boxing updates. Thanks for watching.